In a world bustling with noise and distraction, where chaotic moments often drown out the whisper of our true selves, there exists a young woman named Lily. All her life, she has been a dreamer, an artist with a soul as vivid as the colors she splashes onto her canvas. But like many, she grapples with an invisible storm brewing inside, one that clouds her mind and obscures her vision of who she truly is. On a particularly rainy afternoon, while the skies weep, Lily receives a notification that will shake her foundation. A review of her latest art exhibition pops up on her screen. With trembling hands, she clicks to read the harsh words that follow. Your work lacks depth and, frankly, feels amateurish at best. Those words hit her like a torrential downpour. How could they say that? Every piece she created was a piece of her, her fears, her hopes, her very essence. Yet there they were, those words etched in digital ink, threatening to drown her in self-doubt. Why do I allow their opinions to define me? She wonders aloud, staring blankly at the rain-streaked window. Outside, the world seems relentless, and inside, she feels like a prisoner shackled by the chains of others' perceptions. But what if I could change that? What if I could see past their words, past the noise? Through the fog of her thoughts, another voice emerges, one she recognizes as her grandfather's, echoing the wisdom he imparted to her as a child. Lily, remember, the world is but a mirror. It reflects back what you believe about yourself. He had always encouraged her to rise above the chaos, to seek the calmness within the storm. With a newfound determination rising within her, she reaches for her sketchbook. The lines and shapes she creates are not merely art. They are a dialogue with her soul. With each stroke, she lets go of the negativity that surrounds her and transforms her pain into beauty. Days turn into weeks as she immerses herself in this artistic sanctuary, channeling her inner turmoil into vivid colors and haunting images. She finds that art is not just a form of expression, but a means of understanding her depths. It teaches her about herself, revealing the shadows and light that coalesce into her identity. However, as she prepares for another exhibition, doubt creeps back in. What if they criticize me again? What if I'm not good enough? These questions swirl in her mind like leaves caught in a whirlwind. But in the quiet moments of reflection, she recalls her grandfather's words. Those who throw stones only do so because they fear what lies within themselves. It is on the eve of her exhibition that Lily confronts the essence of her fears head-on. She stands in front of her mirror, looking deep into her own eyes, fighting the urge to shy away. I am more than what they think, she declares, each word imbued with conviction. I am not their judgments. I am the creator of my reality. And so the night of the exhibition arrives, and with it a mixture of excitement and apprehension. The gallery buzzes with eager attendees, their laughter and chatter filling the air. As she stands beside her artwork, pieces vibrant with passion and soul, she feels both exhilarated and terrified. Lily watches as people interact with her creations. Some smile, some frown, and a few seem indifferent, but she tries to remind herself of her purpose. Each piece tells a story. It holds a part of her journey. This is my truth, she breathes, grounding herself in the moment. Then, as fate would have it, a critic approaches, a well-known art reviewer whose words can make or break careers. He looks at her work with a critical eye, his lips curling slightly as he surveys the canvas. Interesting, but definitely lacking in depth, he remarks with an air of superiority. You could do much better. Lily's heart sinks. That familiar pang of self-doubt grips her gut, but she fights back the instinct to recoil. Instead, she stands tall, her voice steady despite the tremors of insecurity threatening to surface. Why does it disturb you? She asks boldly, surprising even herself. The critic blinks, taken aback. What do you mean? Art is subjective, isn't it? Your perception may not resonate with someone else's experience. Perhaps you're reflecting your own insecurities in your critique, she says, her voice gaining strength with each word. This moment, laden with tension, becomes a turning point for Lily. The crowd shifts and whispers begin to swirl around, intrigued by her unexpected assertiveness. For the first time, Lily realizes she is not serving the whims of her audience. She is sharing her voice, a voice worth hearing. This confrontation ignites something within her, and she finds herself reflecting on the implications of her own words. She thinks back to the review that once crushed her spirit. Why had she let someone else's opinion dictate her worth? As the evening progresses, she receives encouraging feedback from attendees who resonate with her messages. One person exclaims, "Your work has transformed my feelings. I see my own struggles in your colors." In that moment of connection, Lily understands that vulnerability holds power. It opens doors to authentic relationships, allowing others to see themselves reflected in her work. She feels the weight of her insecurities lifting, replaced by a sense of purpose and freedom. Weeks pass and her show gains traction. As her confidence grows, the gallery flourishes, but beneath the surface lies another challenge, one that threatens to unravel everything she has worked for. The financial stability of her gallery hangs by a thread. Panic surges through Lily. What if I lose everything? What if this is all for nothing? She muses, her thoughts spiraling. Yet she recalls another lesson from her grandfather. Every challenge is an opportunity writ large, beckoning you to step into your strength. Determined not to surrender, she devises a plan, a fundraiser to save her beloved gallery. Every day, she reaches out to her community, sharing her story and inviting others to contribute. As the event nears, anxiety dances at the edges of her consciousness. But this time, she embraces it. On the night of the fundraiser, she immerses herself in the energy of the crowd. Every moment is a reflection of our power to create, she tells them. Together, we can not only save this gallery, but also lift one another through the magic of art. The attendees respond, eager to support her vision. Laughter fills the room, and connections blossom like wildflowers across the gallery. One attendee pulls her aside. "Your art saved me tonight. I've been struggling, but seeing your journey, it's inspiring." "You're not alone. Remember, we have the power to choose our perceptions," she replies, her heart swelling with warmth. As the night unfolds with laughter, connections, and collective support, it becomes clear that Lily's journey is about more than just art. It's about empowerment, resilience, and the transformative nature of creativity. But just as she experiences this upliftment, another challenge arrives. The news hits that her landlord has decided to double the rent, pushing her to choose between financial stability and her dreams. "What will I do now?" she whispers to herself, her thoughts racing. Doubts flood her mind, but she knows deep down that this moment calls for strength. "I cannot let fear dictate my path," she resolves. Determined to find a solution, Lily dives deep into brainstorming. She reaches out to her artist friends and proposes a collaborative event, one where local artists can showcase their works while sharing the spotlight, enriching the community and drawing more attention to the gallery. Weeks slide by in a whirlwind of creativity, planning, and connection. As the event draws near, the gallery buzzes with excitement. On the day of the collaborative exhibition, the atmosphere is electric. Art is everywhere, walls adorned with a kaleidoscope of colors, voices mingling, laughter resonating. Lily stands among her friends, each of them illuminated by their passion. As the doors open, waves of guests stream in. This is what art is all about, she thinks, a collective expression of our truths. As she walks through the gallery, she feels a sense of fulfillment wash over her. Each piece of artwork tells an individual tale, reflecting the artist's joy, struggle, and growth. Every brushstroke becomes a testament to resilience. In the corner, she overhears two guests discussing her work. "I always thought I was alone in my feelings, but her art makes me feel seen," one guest says, a smile blossoming on his face. Lily's heart swells at the thought that her vulnerability and courage have created a safe space for others. This is her victory, more significant than any accolade or praise. When the night wraps up, Lily steps outside, inhaling the crisp night air. She feels alive, with the energy of creativity vibrating around her. "I did it," she exclaims, standing tall. "I embraced my struggles and transformed them into strength. No opinion can take that away from me." Lily understands now that life's challenges are merely opportunities cloaked in disguise, inviting her to explore her depths further. She realizes that her journey of inner growth is ongoing, rich with lessons and layers of understanding. As she looks to the future, she acknowledges that the storms may return, but she is equipped with the tools to navigate them. No external force will dictate her worth or her ability to create. She is free to explore, to evolve, and above all, to breathe. In this story of resilience, we discover that emotional detachment is not insensitivity, but a path to inner strength. The world may tremble with its chaotic forces, but it is our perceptions that shape our realities. As you navigate your own journey, remember that the true battle is not against the storm outside, but against the storm within. When you cease to react impulsively and embrace your inner landscape, you will find your true strength and resilience. Part 2. Embracing the unknown. Lily's journey continues as she embarks on a new chapter. After the successful collaborative exhibition, she feels the taste of possibility. Each stroke of her brush now carries the weight of experience, igniting her passion anew. She begins to explore different mediums, experimenting with textures and forms that breathe life into her vision. With every creation, she confronts her fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown. "What if I fail?" echoes in her mind, but she challenges it. "What if I succeed?" Buoyed by this newfound courage, she decides to take a leap of faith. She submits her work to a prestigious national art competition. "It's a gamble, but I owe it to myself," she thinks. The thought of competing against seasoned artists both excites and terrifies her. The days pass, stretching into what feels like an eternity. As the announcement date approaches, anxiety creeps back in. What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm just a fraud pretending to be an artist? But then she remembers her grandfather's words. "Your art is a reflection of your journey, not a measure of your worth." In the days leading up to the announcement, she pours her energy into creating a new piece. A large canvas that represents her struggles, her triumphs, and her evolution. She names it The Rise, and it embodies the transformation of her journey. In the piece, she weaves colors that symbolize her emotions, using bold strokes to illustrate her strength and softer hues to capture her vulnerability. "This is me," she whispers as she paints, working late into the night, losing herself in the flow. Finally, the day of the announcement arrives. In her small studio, surrounded by the scents of paint and turpentine, she opens her laptop, heart racing. The comments flood in on her social media as she watches the excitement build. "Today is the day my journey continues," she tells herself. Suddenly, an alert flashes on her screen, and the winner of this year's national art competition is Lily Thompson. In that instant, the weight of uncertainty lifts, and joy floods her heart, mixing with disbelief. She collapses into tears, feeling the culmination of her hard work, her struggles, and her growth. "I did it," she laughs, exhilarated. "I really did it." With this recognition, opportunities begin to pour in. Gallery owners express interest in showcasing her work, and fellow artists reach out to collaborate. But amidst the excitement, she also grapples with the pressure that comes from newfound success. Will I be able to keep up? Will they see me as a contender or just a one-hit wonder? The feelings of doubt begin to creep back. One afternoon, at a local cafe, she meets with an established artist, Emma, who becomes a mentor and friend. Over coffee, Emma shares her own journey, the highs, the lows, and the inevitable rejections that every artist faces. Even the best artists struggle, Emma says, her eyes shining with empathy. It's about finding your voice and staying true to it. Don't let the noise drown you. Inspired by Emma's wisdom, Lily decides to embark on a creative retreat where she can immerse herself in her art without distractions. Leaving the city behind, she heads to a quiet cabin by the lake. There, she discovers a sanctuary for her spirit. Days are spent hiking, reflecting, and creating in the stillness. Surrounded by nature, she feels recharged and more connected to her inner self than ever. Everything I need is already within me, she acknowledges, painting the quiet beauty that envelops her. The retreat fosters not just artistic growth, but personal evolution. She starts incorporating meditation and journaling into her routine. Each morning, she writes about her fears, her hopes, and her dreams, sculpting her identity in the process. Through journaling, she unveils a deeper understanding of the patterns she had lived by, how often she tethered her worth to the opinions of people around her. When the pen touches the page, she realizes, my journey is my own. I must shed these layers of doubt. As the retreat comes to an end, she feels liberated. She returns to the city, equipped not just with new artwork, but a newfound perspective on her purpose as an artist. She sets out to explore new styles, blending influences from her nature-inspired retreat with the urban chaos she lives in. Her art evolves beautifully, capturing the juxtaposition of serenity and chaos. Lily's work begins to gain traction, resonating with audiences seeking connection, vulnerability, and authenticity. She participates in group exhibitions, sharing her story as part of the art community. Through every interaction and every piece she displays, she learns to embrace her identity beyond the canvas. I am a storyteller, she realizes. Each stroke is a word, each piece a chapter of my journey. Yet amidst the success, the familiar specter of self-doubt continues to rear its head. One week, she receives an invitation to showcase her work at an international art fair. The thought fills her with both excitement and apprehension. What if I can't compare to the other artists? But this time, instead of succumbing to fear, she reaches for her journal. What makes my work unique, she writes. It's my personal experience, my journey, my truth. Days before the fair, she channels her energy into creating a grand piece, larger than anything she has done before. She works tirelessly, staying up late into the night, mixing colors, layering canvases, and pouring her heart into her craft. As she stands back to admire her work, Lily feels a surge of pride. It radiates strength, resilience, and beauty. She knows this piece will serve as her statement at the fair, a testament to her growth and journey. When the day of the International Art Fair arrives, Lily is struck by the sheer scale of the event. Artists from around the world set up their booths, showcasing breathtaking works of art. Stay grounded, she reminds herself, taking a deep breath to calm the fluttering in her chest. This is my journey. And as the doors open, the sea of visitors washes over her. People admire her creation, drawing them in like a moth to a flame. This is stunning, an art enthusiast exclaims, standing in front of her piece as mesmerized. Your work speaks so much about resilience, another visitor adds. Lily feels an electric thrill course through her. This is the magic of art, the ability to connect, to spark meaning and to evoke emotion across boundaries. She spends the day engaging with curious guests, sharing her inspirations and her struggles and finding camaraderie among fellow artists. When the fair concludes, she leaves feeling fulfilled and invigorated. Weeks later, as her career continues to thrive, she reflects on her journey. Each layer she has peeled back reveals deeper truths about herself, her desires, and her art. She learns to embrace the unknown, realizing that life is a series of evolving chapters, each one building upon the last. Lily embraces the idea that challenges are merely stepping stones toward greater understanding. The storms will always come, she acknowledges, but my strength lies in how I weather them. Her story is no longer just about art, it's about resilience, authenticity, and the power of vulnerability. She understands that by sharing her truth, she gives others permission to explore theirs. With each brushstroke, she tells a story, not just of her life, but of the human experience, weaving together the threads of struggle, hope, and transformation. And as she continues to paint her future, she knows one thing for certain: she is in control of her narrative. Part 3. Finding community. As Lily's career blossoms, she begins to realize the importance of community. Art, she discovers, is not merely an individual expression, but a conversation that thrives on connection and collaboration. Inspired by this, she decides to host an open studio event at her gallery, inviting fellow artists and the local community to share their work and stories. Weeks later, the day of the event arrives. The gallery buzzes with anticipation as artists set up their displays. Paintings, sculptures, and installations fill the space, each piece echoing its creator's voice. Lily stands at the center of it all, feeling a surge of excitement. This is her chance to foster a space where creativity can flourish. Art is a bridge that connects us, she tells the audience gathered for her opening speech. Every piece you see here today tells a story, and each story has the power to heal, inspire, and ignite change. As the event unfolds, she moves from artist to artist, engaging in conversations that reveal the struggles and triumphs behind their works. She finds herself particularly drawn to a sculptor named Marcus, whose medium of recycled materials resonates deeply with her commitment to environmental art. Each scrap has a history, he explains as he shows her his latest piece, a stunning sculpture made entirely from discarded objects. It's about giving new life to something that was once deemed worthless. Inspired by Marcus's passion, Lily suggests they collaborate on an art project that explores sustainability, a theme that has been gaining momentum in her work. As they brainstorm ideas, they uncover a shared vision to create an immersive installation that challenges viewers to reflect on their relationship with the environment. In the weeks that follow, their collaboration grows, fueling both their creativity. They gather materials, conduct workshops, and engage the community, sparking conversations around sustainability and the power of art as a tool for change. In the midst of this collaboration, Lily deepens her understanding of her role as an artist. Art can inspire action, she proclaims. It can shed light on the issues we face and encourage dialogue that leads to transformation. The installation, titled Rebirth Nature's Palette, takes shape, an expansive display that melds visuals with interactive elements. As the opening date approaches, excitement builds. On the day of the unveiling, the gallery fills with curious attendees, eager to experience the installation. As they step inside, they are enveloped in a world where art and nature collide. Plants climb the walls, and sounds of nature fill the air, creating an immersive experience. Each piece tells a tale of renewal, resilience, and environmental stewardship. Guests interact with the artwork, sharing their thoughts and feelings, sparking rich conversations about their role in preserving the planet. "Your art made me rethink how I consume," a visitor admits, moved by the experience. "I never realized how connected we are to nature." Lily watches as their words unfurl like petals opening to the sun. It dawns on her that this is the essence of art, not only personal expression, but also communal healing and awareness. In the midst of the awe and appreciation, Marcus turns to Lily with a knowing smile. "We've created something beautiful here, haven't we?" "Yes," she replies, filled with gratitude. "Together, we have ignited a conversation that can lead to change." With the installation garnering attention from local media, Lily and Marcus receive invitations to speak at community events and schools, sharing their vision and encouraging others to explore their artistic voices. As she immerses herself in this new role as an advocate for change, she realizes the far-reaching impact of art when it aligns with purpose. "This is how I can make a difference," she reflects, "by using my art to amplify important conversations and spark action." However, even amid her flourishing career, the familiar specter of self-doubt lingers. "What if I'm not enough?" whispers a voice in her head. "What if my work doesn't matter?" To combat this fear, she returns to her journal, her trusted confidant. There she writes about her journey, acknowledging the challenges she has faced and the victories she has achieved. "Every step has led me here," she writes. "I have the power within me to shape my narrative." That night, as she reflects on her journal entries, a sense of clarity washes over her. She embraces the notion that her path is uniquely hers. "Every artist I've met has faced doubt," she reminds herself. "What sets us apart is how we choose to respond to it." With renewed strength and determination, she sets a goal for the future: to create a series of workshops for aspiring artists, where she can share her journey and encourage others to find their own voices. Weeks slip into months, and as she organizes the first workshop, Lily feels a flutter of anticipation. "It's time to give back," she affirms to herself. On the day of the workshop, young artists fill the room, eager to learn and connect. As she introduces herself, her heart races with excitement and vulnerability. "I'm here to share my journey and encourage you to embrace your own," she tells them, her voice steady. "Every artist has a unique story, and it's essential to explore it deeply." Over the course of the workshop, she guides participants through creative exercises, encouraging self-discovery and personal expression. With each interaction, she witnesses moments of realization where students unveil their fears and frustrations and transform them into art. Seeing their growth fills her with joy and purpose. She realizes that the act of sharing her story not only empowers others, but also reinforces her own sense of identity. "Creating has always been my solace," she shares with them. "Art has a power that transcends fear. It allows us to communicate our truths." As the workshop concludes, participants express their gratitude and excitement. "This was life-changing," one young artist says, her eyes shining brightly. "I didn't think I could create something meaningful until today." Lily's heart swells at the impact she has made. In this act of sharing, she reinforces the essence of art as a transformative force, both for the creator and the audience. "You are all artists in your own right," she encourages. "Let your voices be heard and don't be afraid to embrace your individuality." As the workshop series continues to grow, Lily embraces her role as a mentor. Each encounter reminds her that while the journey is often difficult, it is also filled with beauty, resilience, and connection. Through her workshops, she becomes a beacon of hope for aspiring artists, guiding them through the shadows of doubt, encouraging exploration, and fostering a sense of community. As she looks back on her own journey, Lily understands that each step has shaped her into the person she is today. She gives herself permission to grow, evolve, and, most importantly, to embrace the unknown. Part 4. A new chapter of growth. As the months turn into a year, Lily finds herself in a place she once dreamed of. Recognized as an artist in her own right, making a living from her passion. Yet the landscape of her life remains ever-changing. With every workshop, every exhibition, she learns the delicate dance of balancing creativity with the demands of life as an artist. Soon, an opportunity arises that both excites and terrifies her. The chance to exhibit in an international art fair in Europe. This could be my big break, she thinks, feeling both exhilarated and overwhelmed. Determined to showcase her best work, she begins preparing a series of pieces that reflect her evolution as both an artist and a person. I want to tell a story that transcends borders, she reflects. A narrative about resilience, hope, and transformation. As she creates, however, she grapples with the shift that comes with the pressure of international recognition. What if I can't meet their expectations? Doubts loom large within her. To combat this, she returns to her roots, diving deep into her sketchbook. She sketches her fears, her aspirations, and her dreams, giving them a voice through her art. One night, she sets aside the pressure of perfectionism. What if I just painted for me, she muses, allowing herself to explore freely, to create without constraints. In that moment of liberation, she begins to uncover layers of herself she had hidden away. Her brush dances across the canvas, blending color and emotion in a way that feels raw and authentic. At the same time, she reaches out to her community for support. I can't do this alone, she admits, inviting fellow artists to help her prepare for the fair. Together, they rally around her, sharing ideas, offering feedback, and collectively motivating one another. We're all in this together, Marcus reminds her, his words a gentle reminder of teamwork and collaboration. As the days edge closer to the fair, Lily realizes that her journey has drawn her into a larger narrative. We are not merely artists, we are storytellers, weaving our experiences into the fabric of humanity, she reflects, integrating her thoughts into her work. When the day arrives, anxiety surges through her as she steps into the grand venue filled with incredible talent. The space is filled with vibrant art, each booth showcasing a unique perspective. Lily takes a deep breath, centering herself amidst the frenzy. As she sets up her booth, she draws on everything she has learned. This moment is not solely about competition. It's about connection, sharing stories, and building bridges across cultures. As guests warm up to her collaborative installation, Lily finds solace in their reactions. "Your work makes me feel alive," one visitor remarks, igniting hope for a spark of sincerity in a world often driven by superficiality. Days unfold, filled with conversations, shared experiences, and countless stories exchanged. Lily understands that every visitor brings with them their own journey, each interaction illuminating the common threads of humanity. In a poignant moment, an art teacher approaches her booth, eyes glistening. "Thank you for sharing your story. You've inspired my students to embrace their own creativity," she says, her voice trembling with gratitude. Overwhelmed, Lily nods, realizing that this is the very essence of her journey. Art is meant to inspire others. It exists to cultivate connection. As the fair concludes, news breaks that her work has received an award for Best Emerging Artist. The recognition fills her with joy, but more importantly, it affirms the journey she has undertaken. Returning home, she recognizes that her art has become a vessel for sharing her truths, evoking emotion and connecting with others in meaningful ways. This new chapter opens fresh opportunities. Exhibitions, workshops, and collaborations, each inviting her to further explore her craft. In embracing her journey, Lily realizes that she has gained a unique perspective on life and art. where vulnerability and strength coexist in a delicate balance. Art is not about perfection, it's about expression, she reflects. As time passes, she nurtures her artist's soul, knowing that her journey will always be a tapestry of evolution, each thread woven with intention, each color a representation of her life experiences. Her story continues to unfold, richer and deeper with each stroke she applies to her canvas. She shares her message that art is a reflection of all the layers of our humanity, and that each of us is a storyteller, destined to create connection and forge meaningful relationships through love, pain, growth, and transformation. For as she steps onto the emboldened path before her, she knows one thing for certain: this is just the beginning.